Hello and welcome to Whispered Legends. I am your storyteller, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Get ready to journey into tales of mystery, adventure, and the unknown. If you love stories that spark your imagination, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a whisper. Now, let's begin today's tale. Superior Spider-Man is a bold and revolutionary storyline that dramatically shifts the narrative of Spider-Man, as it involves the mind-switching between Peter Parker and his longtime foe, Dr. Otto Octavius, aka Doctor Octopus. The story begins with Doctor Octopus on his deathbed, suffering from a terminal illness. In his final moments, Otto realizes that his body is failing him and that his life as a villain is coming to an end. Desperate to continue his work and find a way to escape death, Otto develops a plan to switch minds with someone whose body is still young and capable, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Otto, using his intellect, arranges for the two to swap minds. The mind swap occurs during a confrontation between Spider-Man and Doctor Octopus, with Otto trapping Peter in a weakened state and taking over his body. Otto's mind, now in Peter's body, is left with the abilities and knowledge of Spider-Man, while Peter's mind, trapped in Otto's decaying body, struggles to survive in a body that is rapidly failing due to Otto's terminal condition. With Peter's body at his disposal, Otto begins to operate as the superior Spider-Man. Initially, Otto does not take the same approach to crime fighting that Peter did. While Peter operated with an inherent sense of morality, compassion, and responsibility, Otto is far more ruthless and pragmatic. Otto believes that in order to truly protect the people of New York, he must be more efficient and superior than Peter was. Otto improves upon Peter's abilities, adding enhancements to the Spider-Man costume, developing new gadgets, and using his scientific mind to amplify Spider-Man's powers. He's no longer afraid to use lethal force when dealing with criminals and is willing to make hard decisions that Peter would never have considered. For example, Otto eliminates the idea of restraint, taking a much more aggressive stance toward villains and criminals, regardless of their motives. He also makes some key decisions, such as eliminating the old Spider-Sense weaknesses and acting more decisively in his actions, proving to the public that his version of Spider-Man is more effective and stronger than Peter's ever was. Otto even manages to take down several notable threats, which enhances his reputation as the superior Spider-Man. Meanwhile, Peter's consciousness, trapped in Otto's dying body, fights to regain control. Peter is horrified as he watches Otto's ruthless actions and realizes that Otto doesn't understand or care about the moral code that Peter adhered to throughout his career as Spider-Man. Otto's methods of crime fighting and treatment of people make Peter's mind furious, but he's essentially powerless to stop him because Otto's body is in terrible condition. Peter's consciousness tries to assert itself, struggling against Otto's domineering presence in his body. Peter desperately tries to connect with the people he loves, including Aunt May and Mary Jane, but Otto's mind interferes with these interactions. Otto, in control of Peter's body, even begins to build a new relationship with Mary Jane, further complicating Peter's emotional and psychological turmoil. Peter begins to realize the true cost of Otto's decisions. He watches as Otto puts the people he cares about in danger, taking risks and pushing them further away. At the same time, Peter begins to recall the important lessons that his alter ego, Spider-Man, was supposed to represent: responsibility, empathy, and making choices that protect people, even if it means personal sacrifice. As Otto operates in Peter's body, he gradually starts to improve on Spider-Man's legacy, focusing on efficiency rather than compassion. His method of crime fighting is more authoritarian. For instance, Otto organizes Spider-Man's operations, develops new technologies for the webs, and even takes a more scientific approach to his heroism. He also spends a considerable amount of time trying to outdo the old Spider-Man in terms of intelligence and scientific discoveries. One of Otto's most significant actions is his decision to stop Peter's romantic relationships. He ends things with Mary Jane, who, in Otto's body, is made to think that Peter was a man completely different from the one she knew. Otto also takes a more aggressive stance with criminals, deciding to act outside the moral lines Peter had previously adhered to. Peter's mind, however, refuses to give up. He spends much of the story trying to fight his way back from the recesses of Otto's mind. Peter starts to realize that, despite the horrors he's witnessing, Otto might actually be learning something about what it means to be Spider-Man, particularly in terms of responsibility. During the climactic final battle in the Amazing Spider-Man number 700, Peter's mind manages to break free from Otto's consciousness and reassert control over his own body. Otto, in a final attempt to stop Peter, attempts to destroy him mentally and physically. However, Peter's will prove stronger, and Otto finally comes to the realization that Peter Parker, despite his flaws, is truly a better Spider-Man because he has heart and empathy. Otto, seeing the strength of Peter's commitment to heroism, experiences a change of heart, and acknowledges that Peter is the true, superior, Spider-Man. In the final moments, Otto allows Peter to return to his body. Before leaving, Otto, having learned and changed from his experience, leaves Peter a note, a sign of respect for his courage, morality, and commitment to being a hero. Otto's last act is to ensure Peter's return to his rightful life, even if he can no longer remain in Peter's body. As Peter regains control, he reflects on his time in Otto's mind, learning from Otto's more ruthless approach. Peter now knows that being a hero is not just about power but about using that power for good. In essence, Peter has become a stronger, more focused Spider-Man because of his experiences as superior Spider-Man, and the lessons learned from Otto shape his journey moving forward. The Superior Spider-Man arc concludes with Peter reclaiming his identity as Spider-Man, but with a deeper understanding of his responsibilities as a hero. He now has more confidence in his abilities and his approach to crime fighting, realizing that the heart and soul of Spider-Man's mission is what makes him truly superior. This storyline was incredibly controversial, as it involved Peter losing his identity as Spider-Man and seeing a villain take over. However, it also explored the idea that Spider-Man's greatness comes from the responsibility he carries, not just the powers he possesses. Otto's brief stint as Spider-Man served as a mirror, highlighting Peter's true nature and reinforcing the core values that make him the hero we know and love.